Hello everyone, this is Tom Fox and I'd like to welcome you to episode 150 of the FCPA Compliance and Ethics Report. In celebration of my 150th episode, I go in a little bit different direction today and I speak with Tanya Otterstein-Liehs. She is a health and physical fitness consultant and expert in Canada, and she's talked to us about assessment and process in these two areas, and also in the need for a positive attitude to get things accomplished. The episode comes in at just over 24 minutes. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Hello everyone, I'm Fox and welcome to this episode of the FCPA Compliance and Ethics Report. Today I'm very intrigued to have one of my few Canadian guests. I have Tanya Otterstein-Liehs.
Liehs, that's good, yes.
As a guest today. And it's unique for a couple of reasons, beyond the fact that she's one of our neighbors from north of the border. Tanya responded to a guest blog post I had when I was on spring break. As most of my listeners know, the Two Tough Cookies contributed, and you probably don't know, but those are two women in the compliance field who guest post from time to time. Mm-hmm. And one of their posts was on the power of positive thinking. Tanya had a very gracious comment to that post. And so we communicated, and I frankly was fascinated by yourself and your business model and how you use social media as I couldn't tell if you're a solo businesswoman, but you're certainly a small business person. And it looks like you've been able to create quite a network and following from use of social media. So I wanted to see if we could explore a couple of things. One is, how do you use social media in your business? Because in my world, I practice in the area of law that's generally referred to as anti-corruption compliance. Right. But one of the key components of that is to communicate throughout a corporation. And I'm very intrigued by the use of social media and how people like yourself and myself use social media to connect with customers, clients all over the country and indeed across the globe. Yeah. And then I also wanted to see if we could explore the blog post that you commented on, and you'd actually written a blog post on that, and you related that to fitness, exercise, and even specifically weight training and weight loss. So we had, I thought it was a really good opportunity to explore some things that people may not understand relate to compliance directly, but certainly in my mind they touch on it, and you seem to be doing it very well.
Thank you.
So with that very long-winded introduction, Tanya, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Yeah, great. As far as my business, I guess kind of get a background. Since high school, fitness, taking care of yourself, your overall well-being has always been a really important part of my life. I wasn't originally in this career choice. I was actually an early childhood educator. When it was time for, everybody decides at one point in their life it's time for a career change. I was at that point in my life, and I thought, what is something I have a passion about? What can I just talk about forever? What comes naturally to me? And I thought, fitness, passion. And one of the things that helped highlight that is when I'd be working out at the gym, exercising, people would approach me and say, Tanya, can you help me, with this? Can you help me develop a program? I thought, okay, this is fate. It's come to me for a reason. So from there, I went and got my certification in Canada. It's a CanFit Pro. Received my certification, worked at a facility, got some experience, found out what I liked, what I didn't, and then lo and behold, January 1st, 2011, developed Body Business to basically, I want my vision, my passion to carry forth, which is taking care of yourself, having that positive mindset, which you talked about, Tom, at the beginning for the introduction, and just knowing that it's important to take care of yourself, important to think positive about yourself. From there, I do one-on-one training, I do group fitness classes. I've started to go into the workplace or corporate world, bringing fitness into the workplace. And then also using that social media by blogging to help spread the word that way. So kind of a lot of passions, a lot of niches, working them into one to help spread the importance of taking care of yourself, of fitness, and of health.
Wow, you really said a lot in there. My mom was an elementary school teacher for many years, so we have that in common. But I'm
Nice.
very intrigued by the passion you bring to this.
Yeah.
And I'm a fitness nut, Joe Jock in high school, and just I've always worked out when I'm not
Great.
injured. But I'm not injured right now, so I'm back in the gym. But I don't see a lot of people with that sort of passion. I've worked with personal trainers over the years,
Mhm.
but it's really great to see that kind of passion. Let me
Mhm.
maybe start with how did you develop your not necessarily your social media skills, but your strategy to communicate with people across the globe as far away as Texas?
Yeah. Yeah, that was just kind of a wow when that happened, Tom, when you communicated back to me. It's like, wow, it's working. So it is a lot of work, but again, if you stay at it, it happens. So as far as the social media aspect, I thought, how can I take what I believe in and get it out there? Word of mouth is one way, but to start blogging it, going on to sites like LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, blog posting, taking that, writing messages, and then going further and looking at who has the same interest I do, looking what they've written down in those different social media sites, including Haro, and reading what they've written. If it relates to what I have talked about in a blog or in the past, then I will make a comment. From there, they see the comment. Often they'll write back or write a comment to myself. And that takes the step further because now their readers, their followers, their social media sites will now see, oh, who's this Tanya person that commented on Susie's blog or Susie's Twitter comment? So it really starts the ball rolling. And I really find that social media is important because, Tom, as yourself, you have something important you want to talk to, people about. You want to spread that important message. So it's kind of like the ladder. It starts, at the baseline, and then it bounces off someone else, bounces off someone else, bounces off someone else. Eventually, it's going to get to the point where you want it. So again, you need to stay on top of it. You need to do it every day throughout the day. You have to go out and do it. So it is work, but again, if you have a passion and enjoy doing it, it'll spread the word.
The blog that you commented on that kind of led to this discussion. Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, how did that blog pop up on your radar? And then what was it about that blog that led you to be intrigued enough to make a comment?
Again, I just love the fact that how I found it was through Haro.
I don't know what Haro is.
Okay, so Haro is Haro. It's a site where you go to as a posting person, a blog, or interested in social media. You put in what interests you, and from there, articles, whether there be in paper articles, newspapers, social media articles, blogging articles, Google kind of does a search for it and then sends it to your inbox, what you're looking for. So using that site, I scrolled down it and found your guest post from the positive thinking or positive way of looking at things and how it leads you to your goals. And I read it and I thought, this is really interesting because it talked about how in an office or workplace environment, how is the people's way of thinking changed the way they start to view life. And instead of thinking it was about me, I liked how the post turned it around and said, well, let's look at another viewpoint, another situation. Once they saw that, it kind of opened the world, turned things more positive. And then I thought, that is so about what I just wrote the other day. And I want people to know that it does exist and you can do it. And, don't worry about that wall up there. Just open up the windows and see how things can change and how maybe a negative environment in a workplace, how you can change it to be much more productive and kind of start to see the light of other people. And I thought, yeah, this post speaks to me that you had on your site. And I thought, I'm going to post mine there, see, who's further interested in looking at it. which you did, and that was great to see.
Well, that led me to go back and read your underlying post, and I'm going to have to go to the glasses here. But what you wrote about was really much more than just having a positive mindset, because you wrote about, it's entitled The Link Between Weight Loss and a Positive Mindset. And at first I thought, oh, this will just be, think well of yourself and don't worry. But it's really much more than that, because you actually lay out a strategy. So could you talk us through the strategy and how you might work with a client or a customer for a strategy on weight loss? And I don't just mean push away from the table or don't eat that second, piece of something, but you actually lay it out.
Yeah. So a lot of people will come to you and say, I want to lose 10 pounds by the summer for whatever reason. And it's now March. So I say to them, first of all, okay, what are the reasons why you want to lose these 10 pounds? And then we start to break it down. And I say, okay, what personal barriers do you find that has kept you from reaching this goal in the past? Because the 10 pounds they want to lose isn't something new. It's something they tried and tried again, that famous New Year's resolution.
Right.
So then we look at the barriers, and number one tends to be they're stressed. Number two tends to be they never sleep. Number three is they don't like anything about them. And usually number four is I don't know how to do it. I want to do it right away. So those, again, are three big steps, but then breaking down the steps again. So I say, okay, let's break it down some more, because we cannot attempt to do 10 things at once and accomplish them all at once. I want to set you up for success. So let's take the one thing. And you say you don't know how to eat. You don't know what to eat. And I say, okay, do you have breakfast? And do you drink enough fluids, whether it be water, tea, throughout the day? No. Okay, let's take that step. For breakfast, you're going to have, and I make it very descriptive for them so they don't have to think about them. I don't want them waking up and thinking, what do I have to eat? I want them setting them up for success. So this is what you can eat. Here's 3-4 choices, along with here's your water. I give them a graph lined up with, I'll have water bottles on there. And okay, I want you to have this amount of water by the end of the day, and they check it off as the day goes by. So kind of breaking it down. And then from there, another thing they'll say is, I don't like anything about myself. And I said, no, I want you to look in the mirror with me right now, and I want you to tell me something that you really love about yourself. And everyone has something they love about themselves, whether, it's their eyes, the way their hair is, whether they like the way an outfit looks. So I say, good. I want you to look at yourself every day and take that part that you love and think positive about it. So now we have two things that we're setting them up for success, which will lead them to the successful weight loss they want to do. So now they're knowing how to eat in the morning, important step. They're finding something beautiful about them for important step. And now we need to know that to start exercising, we need to start at the beginning, stepping stones. So it's really hard, let's be honest, people have really busy lives, and it's hard. I hear it all the time, well, I don't have an hour to dedicate to exercise. Well, let's do this. I want you to, wake up maybe half an hour early, or at the end of the day, take half an hour and go for a walk. That's the beginning. When we really break it down and we look in our schedule book, and I tell people, I need you to schedule in your exercise time and do not cancel it. Because if you had an appointment with someone, they could just cancel on you, or doctor's appointment, dentist appointments, hairdresser appointments, stylists, nobody ever cancels them. They don't think twice. They have it scheduled and they go. So same thing, you need to make your time important to you. So schedule in your exercise. You are going to dedicate that time to yourself. So that's the third step. And, it eventually all works in together. And people within a week, I have seen it all the time, within a week, when they've done those 3 simple steps, come Monday, they're this new person they are looking forward to because they've accomplished it. They finally did things they never ever thought they were capable of, never thought they could do. So baby steps, breaking things down, and just, writing down the goals that you have and seeing that those goals have taken you towards achieving this. And within 30 days, then we look at the next steps, because it takes 30 days to accomplish something to make it a routine. So after 30 days, we look at the next step. Okay, what is your next step to help you get to this goal? So the first one, they've accomplished walking, let's say you're exercising 3 times a day for 30 minutes. So now we're going to say, can you add on another day? If not, okay, let's take that 30 minutes and bring it to 45 minutes. Never going past an hour, never ever going past an hour. You can get a good workout in 30 minutes. So again, breaking it down, doing little steps, scheduling them, keeping it, knowing your time is important for you. And the most important too is, doesn't matter how much I give you the incentive, doesn't matter how much I lay it out for you, you need to be accountable for yourself. I can't make you do it. You need to be able to do it yourself and make a point of doing it yourself.
This is just amazing. I wrote down some notes because in my world, let me see if I can rephrase it and tell you what in the legal compliance world, what you've said. So you assess, where are you? From there, you develop a strategy. With your strategy, you don't go into, okay, I'm going to swim for an hour. You start with building blocks. You use those building blocks and create achievable metrics. And from those metrics, you build, and then you reassess. And if you can move forward with additional tasks, you do. And if you need to spend more time working on the building blocks, you do that. So the process is just great. And that's what it really intrigued me, and why I wanted to get you on the podcast, because I want people to understand that in my world, certainly in compliance, it's a process. And what you've laid out for anyone who may be interested in exercising, weight loss, or anything about fitness, is it's a process. Unfortunately, I went to high school in the 70s, and my workout tends to be what I learned in the 70s. Now, my sense is that there have been some advancements since 1970 in the area of physical fitness. Nevertheless, it's what I learned. But what it seemed to me that, in your describing the process, that there's room for, if not technological improvements, certainly other improvements in how fitness is communicated and fitness is done. So very intriguing to see that you laid out the process, and you laid that process out even in your blog post.
Thank you. Great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So is the process you've laid out, does it work in a group setting?
So for my example, when I teach the group fitness, everybody has their own goals, but at the same time, they do have a similar goal. Because what I do is, when someone joins our fitness group, I give them a sheet and I ask them what their goals are, what they want to achieve. So there's always a similarity in there. And what I do is, you're going to have different fitness levels, right? The first important step is thinking about wanting to include fitness. The second step is looking into it. And the third step is talking about it with someone like myself. The fourth step is trying it. And the fifth step, which is really hard to do, and when people do it, it's amazing, is actually jumping on board, doing it, and sticking with it. That's the hardest thing to do. Is there's one thing to say it, but then to do it. So in my group, I'll have people that I offer them to come for a week. Here, try it out. It's my gift to you. They end up sticking with it, because I give, as I'm facilitating or teaching the group, I'll be there, but I'm interacting with the group. I'm doing it with them. I give them modifications, which means I'll show them different ways of doing the exercises. So each fitness level is able to be there. Each fitness level can achieve that 40 minutes of exercise. And they've had a good workout. Doesn't matter what their fitness level is. But when you're in a group setting like that, the camaraderie that works and everyone's feeding off each other's energy, and people will come in and they'll say, oh, Tanya, I don't know about this. I said, you know what? You're here. You're making time for yourself. Feel proud of yourself. And then at the end, they're just smiling and they're bright and they're like, I didn't think I could do this. And, everyone's supporting each other. So they're achieving what they think or thought they couldn't do, going back to their goals. They're achieving more than they ever thought they did. So yes, it can be done in a group setting. I think it's very important. The facilitator or the trainer who is teaching it is on tune of the different people that are there, the different personalities that are there. But yeah, you can achieve it. And what I'd like to do as well is if I don't see somebody there, I contact them the next day to say, where were you? Hope you're okay. Hope everything's right. Because then they become accountable and they're like, oh, Tanya's making sure I'm going to show up. And it makes me feel really important that I matter, in the group. And then they come and then, everyone's saying it was good to see you again. So we'll do partner fitness, individual fitness, working together fitness. And yeah, it's almost, I'll say I love my one-on-one and I love my workplace, but I really love my group fitness because the energy that's in there, and if I can help improve that person's life, or if I can help improve in a group 10 or 20 people's life in that same time frame, I think has a higher impact as a whole. Does that kind of answer what you're looking for?
Certainly, but something you said, I've never really heard it phrased that way. You talked about accountability as a positive step. In the corporate world, most people think accountability is Big Brother looking over my shoulder, getting ready to spank me, but you posit it as accountability as a way of saying, hey, look, not only do I care, we care, but we care about you.
Yeah, it's very, very true. And you pinpointed where a lot of people are saying, oh, I have to do this because of so-and-so. If I don't do a good job, and so-and-so. No, you want to be accountable for yourself. You want to know that I can do this. I can do a good job because it reflects to me as as someone who can get a job done, do it efficiently, and please don't take off 5 projects at once. Do one. Don't be afraid to tell your group or tell your boss, that's great. I'd love to be a part of 5 different projects, but I want to do my best. I want to be accountable for one and show you what I can do. I want to be accountable for my corporate company to do well. And in order for me to do well, this is what I need to do. And I'm going to, not want to do these other 5 projects. But in order for it to happen, I have to make it happen. I have to want it to happen for myself as well as my workplace.
Well, Tanya, unfortunately, we're near the end of our time, but I was wondering if someone wanted to contact you to follow up directly, how would they do it?
They can send me an email. And they can actually go to my website if they want to find out information as well. And it's bodybusiness.ca, spelt the way it sounds. Or again, you can directly email me at Tanya, spelled with an A, N-Y-A, at bodybusiness.ca. And I'd love the feedback. Anyone out there, again, if I can help someone change the way they think, if I can help them become more accountable, if I can help them take that little step and know that, yes, you can do it. I mean, that's me. That's my passion, to want to make the world see it can be a better, more positive place. Because if you have that, so my motto is shaping your foundation. You need a strong foundation to be able to see the rest take shape, like a house, right? Without a strong foundation of a house, it's going to crumble.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, that's a great insight. Well, Tanya, thank you very much, and I look forward to continuing the conversation.
And I thank you very much, Tom, for contacting me and giving me this time to do this podcast. Thank you very much. And have a great day. Enjoy your, is it coffee or tea you're drinking?
Tea.
Excellent. Great. Have a great one, Tom.